Oh, shit.
Hey,
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
hey everybody, welcome back to Joust. I'm Jake.
I'm Alex.
And this is the final part to Outlast 2.
And this is the apocalypse.
The apocalypse is happening and Alex doesn't know where to go. Which honestly is fair because there's a lot of dust in the area.
Yeah, it's hard to see. I can't.
To your left. No, back.
I'm just
that way.
smashing her into like trees and shit.
She's
like, oh, sorry. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so
that's
sorry.
not the way.
Jesus.
Never mind, that's not the way.
Oh, my God.
That's not the way.
Well.
That's not going to be the way.
As far from those places we can get.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That thing you just said? Yes.
Good point. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the ending of this game entails.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Stay out here. Help me down, please, Blake.
Yeah, she's all like... I mean, I guess she's just dirty. She looks like she's like turning into dirt, though. Just dropped her head first.
I'm coming down.
Look at her legs and how bloody they are.
Yeah, you. It hurts. You fucking dropped me, asshole. What if she hit the ground and the baby just popped out?
Oh.
Just the force of it just pushed it out. Yeah.
Oh no. Alright, fuck it, just leave the baby. Notice like he's attached to the umbilical cord and
It's like
he's
bouncing
running.
on the ground behind them. You know, like when people get married and there's like tin cans on strings behind.
Uh-oh. Alright, now Alex, don't run toward Marta. You need to run away from her. There you go.
Here we go.
I think something's wrong.
Oh,
Yeah,
you think something's wrong? Really? No, this is
maybe
fine.
a little bit. Maybe
this
a little
is ideal.
bit. No, I mean, it could just be a forced fire, like an accidental, like somebody was playing with matches, perhaps.
Can she get hit? Is she gonna get hit by lightning? Yeah,
Even better. Even better.
Oh, shit.
Isn't that just like the most lucky coincidence on the planet?
So wait, did the wind do that?
No, the lightning struck that thing on the top of that building.
Oh.
All right, relax. What kind of overacting was that shit?
Fuck your god. Praise Satan. He's like, whoa. It's okay. Let's calm down.
Yeah.
We've had too much of that already.
In a way, I know that's not what, I don't think this is what it was trying to do, but this game came off as very like, fuck religion, man,
Yeah, like
sort of
edgy,
deal.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's,
I mean,
especially the way he talks throughout the game, Blake.
Yeah.
He's always like, those good Christians and shit like that. It's like,
Oh.
all right.
All right, okay.
Mr.
Yeah, well-
Edgelord who just realized atheism is a thing. I had that phase too when I was 11.
Yeah, right. When I was like 14, I was like, fuck religion. And I'm just like, okay, guys, come on. Let's be reasonable here.
We were never subjected to torture.
Yes.
Or forced pregnancy.
Yeah, if I did this, I would also maybe be like, yeah, fuck religion. I'm over the thing that caused my wife to be force impregnated and me to have my hands skewered through. I'm over it. Okay, yeah. So, well, also, even like the people who are both pro and against Christianity in this game are both
Evil.
fucked up.
They're
yeah.
both evil
Like
in
it's not
different
like
ways.
the people who are against Christianity are like great.
Yeah, no, they're arguably worse.
They're arguably, they still are. Like, everybody is a rapist and a murderer. Is the theme of this game. No matter your religion, no matter your
actually,
creed.
the religious society at least has some semblance of a civilization.
That's true.
They at least have buildings and running water and electricity.
Yes.
And shit like that. The heretics just live in caves and eat people and skin them alive.
Oh, hey, we're back. We're back here.
Yeah, in the torture place. It's a good place to have a baby.
Yeah, just lie down on the torture rack.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Nah.
Her hair is weird. Ugh, God.
What's wrong?
No.
Get ready for some fun.
Oh God. Oh, is it gonna burst out of her alien style?
Ugh, God.
Do you not like
Fucking
this?
hate this.
Oh, it is. It's an actual baby.
All right, it's done. Throws it over his shoulder.
That seems like too much blood.
Yeah, a little too much.
That's bad. Okay, I thought it was gonna be some sort of like
At
terrible
least she didn't
creature.
shit herself.
Yeah.
That's a thing that happens a lot when
Yeah.
women have babies that they don't talk about. Oh.
Sorry.
Dude, she's trying to sleep. Don't be loud.
Yeah.
God damn it. Fucking relax. What would happen? What? Okay, I've always been curious. I know this is super emotional.
Yeah,
But like, I've always been curious, like, after a woman has a baby, and I assume their gut's still kind of, like, pregnant looking after the baby. Can you just, like, punch down on the stomach?
I honestly
and just kind of, like,
always...
see if you could pop it?
Not like that fucked up, but I always wondered that.
You could just kind of press in, see what happens?
Yeah, does it, like, stay that big? Because there's not a baby in there anymore. It can't still be as big, but it can't, like, just deflate. Like, that doesn't make sense either.
It's like
He's just sitting down. He's like, all right, whatever.
It's like a pus bubble that's, like, already fully, like drained. You just kind of press. I'm equating babies to infection, by the way. You just press down on it, and it just kind of flattens.
Like maybe.
I don't know.
I'm powerless again.
What?
Why?
What do
Because you don't
mean?
lift?
Yeah.
Too strong already. You've murdered.
How's that possible? He has like no muscle definition.
Yeah. What? This thing? This thing
I
can't
could
do anything.
stomp on this right now and it'd be dead.
Who will he have?
His voice doesn't sound fat enough. He should have like a sort of sound.
God's got silence. Where's my donuts?
He answers them.
Oh, is he gonna slit his own throat?
His own like double throat.
Yeah. What if he like can't get deep enough? So it's just like a cut, but he doesn't like hit his like throat. Yeah.
Oh fuck.
So it's just like, oh my fat jowls. Ugh, and you just see like all the yellow fat like pour out. Ugh. Gross. Gross.
It's all gelatinous. Ugh.
Oh hey.
Hey, record that for the views. Come on. There you go. All right. Anyway, so yeah,
It's
that
a prank,
happens.
bro. It's like someone's like slit throat. So he's just in his head, the whole thing is conflated at this point because he's kind of crazy. Like the whole like Jessica getting raped and murdered. And
Yeah, I mean he
all
clearly
this
has
shit.
some severe guilt over that whole
Yeah.
deal, kind of allowing it to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's pretty fucked. And he's that's the thing, is that we're about to reach the end here, so I'll save some of what I'm about to say. But yeah, like just going back on Noth for a second, like it's weird to me because for a large portion of this game I thought that he was, he was a con man.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Yeah, yeah.
He really thought that he was like some sort of prophet.
Yeah, he truly believed all that shit that he was putting down.
Yeah.
She'll get to grow up.
Oh. Okay, so in his head, this baby is Jessica.
Or it's like it's his new chance.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
At innocence,
I just
guess.
realized there's a throne right there.
Yeah. Huh. That does seem kind of close to be the sun. Whoa, whoa, definitely too close. Whoa, sun, personal space, personal space, personal space.
This way, Blake.
Brought to you by The Apocalypse. The Apocalypse. You'll shit for days. Oh, it's cutscene time. Hey.
Don't worry.
Uh-oh. Don't worry. I only have my weird slit throat.
It's not slit, it's from a rope.
Oh, you're right, because she hung herself, right?
Gone away.
No, she didn't.
Savior, listen while I pray, begging thee to watch and keep, and send me quietly to sleep. Watchful Savior, wash away all I've been wrong today. Help me every day to be gentle, gentle, more like thee.
Is that the end? Hmm.
Yeah. So,
Huh.
yeah. Quick thing, because you just mentioned how you thought that she hanged herself, whatever the fuck. The reality is, because I was confused about that for a bit, but then I kind of started to piece it together. What's going on is basically Father Loudermilk, or whatever the fuck his name is,
Yeah.
killed her accidentally as he was chasing her so he could, fuck her.
Oh.
And she broke her neck, I guess, down the stairs or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then he had Blake, who came back, he had Blake help him stage a fake suicide.
Oh. I'll take these off.
Yeah, that's what happened. So,
Okay.
or at least I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yes. So, yeah, that's a thing.
Okay, that makes sense. That's why he feels extra guilty.
Exactly.
Because he helped.
Here's the other thing, is that this whole, I've had a lot of theories, a lot of people have had a lot of theories about this game. One of them that I got from John, actually, after right around the time I finished the game, was that he thought this was kind of like a simulation staged by what are they called? Murkoff.
Oh, from the first game?
Yes.
Oh.
That he think that there's a lot of theories that these games are connected in several different ways. And that's one of them is that Murkoff like set either that it's a simulation, because that would explain a lot of the parallels between what's going on in this area or this place and what happened in Blake's past.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's very difficult to believe that all these sort of similarities in symbolism and all that sort of stuff, it's difficult to believe that, you know, that all that stuff would happen in reality, you know, in comparison to what happened to him when he was a child. On the flip side, it could also be that, like, this big tower that keeps on making this noise and makes all these really bright lights is like a mind control device that is influencing people. Because if you remember, the first time that we know of that he was having these dreams about Jessica was the second they sort of came into the area where this was taking place on that helicopter. And he was mentioning how he had a dream about Jessica to Lynn, and Lynn was all like, "Oh, that's funny. I haven't thought about her in years." Yeah. So it's like potentially this world causes people to have visions, or this place causes people to have visions and to imagine things or remember things from their past they don't want to think about, which causes them to feel really guilty, which may potentially turn them toward religion or something like that.
So that's why the whole thing happened in the first place.
Yes.
Like all this like crazy cult happened.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And then there was the resistance from the heretics. Some people were driven insane potentially because of whatever visions they were having, and that's what created the heretics and their anger towards God for potentially allowing this stuff to happen in the first place or whatever it might have been. And that caused the fracture in the civilization, and
that makes sense.
So
because then also when he's like at the end when he said God's gone silent, they could have just been like, all right, this place is too fucked, we're out of here.
Exactly.
Like, and they just turned off the machine, and that was the apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all these people like fully going insane because they're like the machine just got turned off.
I had a theory when I was talking about this stuff in my playthrough, was that there might be a follow-up DLC, like a whistleblower style DLC, that actually is like a Blake wakes up sort of thing from the experiment, and from that point forward, maybe he tries to save Lynn or something like that, or whatever it might be. This is all conjecture. I have no idea if any of that stuff is going to happen, but it'd be interesting. And I feel like the only way this game makes any sense or works as a story is if it has a follow-up. Or has a way, has some sort of explanation. Yeah, definitely. At this current juncture in time, it just feels like Lost. Yeah. It feels like the show Lost. Like a bunch of questions were raised and none of them got answered.
Yeah. Yeah, like all the animals dying with those bright lights all the time. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That is weird. And then it is also weird.
The blood rain and all that shit.
The blood rain.
So much stuff that doesn't fucking happen. Like, at least the first Outlast, this stuff is crazy, and there's a lot of weird, like, almost, Batman-style supervillain sort of thing going on. But at least it was grounded in reality that there wasn't blood rain and nuclear bombs going off and the sun exploding and shit like that. It was relative to this one an insane asylum where some crazy shit happened. Yeah. That's really as far as it went. Oh, yeah. Well, plus the ghosts. There was that, too. So that one was a little weird, I guess. But just, like...
But it was still, like, explained by,
all that stuff is secluded. That's the thing. All of it's secluded. You can't explain away to the rest of society that blood was raining from the sky. Yeah. A light doesn't just randomly kill millions of fish out of nowhere. Yeah. This has to be some sort of created scenario.
Well, so did we ever go to or see the, like, because remember right before the lake, there's that, like, big thing in the distance that we see. He's like, maybe it's like an oil plant or something.
That's what I'm talking about.
We never went there, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never went there.
So it just is.
It just is a place.
Huh. And there was lights on inside, it looked like.
Well, no, that's where it was coming from. The lights were coming from that place. The sound was coming from that place. So, yeah, that was kind of my point, was that we never went to this location, and that has to mean something. Yeah. Right? I wouldn't be too terribly surprised if the next game takes place inside of that tower. Or at the very least, the next game, whether it be a DLC or Outlast 3, you maybe, as Blake, you wake up inside of that tower. Yeah. And that whole location was just a reference point for the simulation you were in. So there's a couple different ways this could go about that would make sense.
Yeah.
But at this current moment, none of it makes sense to me.
Yeah. It kind of makes sense to me that it's just like it's putting out some sort of wave
Yeah.
that makes people like relive things.
What I could also see happening is that there is no mind control qualities to this tower. It purely is just a really bright light that makes noises, and you've driven the people inside of this area so insane that they start to believe it's just a godlike message that's being sent out to them, and so they pray to it every time it happens.
Yeah.
That I could see as well, that it's like mind control through just regular means. Like it's not really mind control, it's just it's gaslighting.
Yeah. That would make sense. Well, because also, that light does kill all the animals every time it goes out.
That's true.
So it's doing something.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
So yeah, it's killing like the small animals though. So maybe it still does something to us, the big animals.
Yeah.
The peoples.
Because
Because it just kills all the birds and the fish and the whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on a sec. Let me check
And
something.
and also like, because the lake is where shit starts to get weird. Like, because you see like the priest walking into the lake at the beginning. If you swim in the lake, something comes up from underneath.
Well, yeah, you're right. It was the
priest.
You know that was the priest that was walking into that lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So that was a vision. That didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with once you're in the lake. Like, I assume that you just drown and you're not actually getting pulled down by some creature. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It just seems kind of random. Like, I don't know.
So, like, the idea is that, like, you know how there were no women in the first Outlast?
Yeah.
And all of that. So the thought is that potentially they were kind of taking a lot of the inmates potentially from the insane asylum and putting them in this facility or in this area to kind of create this experiment of sorts. And they were using a lot of women with this sort of mind control tower or whatever. And they were creating like quote unquote phantom pregnancies. So the idea is that there really actually were never any babies. There were no children at any point, which would explain at one point Lynn says there's nothing there after she has the kid. I personally, my personal playthrough took that as meaning that she just died and there was no heaven or hell.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
Alternatively, I remember John interpreting this as well. John Wolfe, by the way, he interpreted it as that like there was no baby there, and that the whole thing was just her own imagination.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility as well. And they're using this whole structure, this whole idea, this scenario as a means of testing people and seeing how they react to different circumstances, different situations. And once again, using the light as like a not a full-on mind control device, but using
just something that affects your mind.
Exactly. It makes you like worship a deity. And since these people are already potentially mentally compromised, it would make sense for them to believe this sort of thing. So that's another theory that could, make sense as well. There's so many different ways that this whole story could be interpreted. None of them are confirmed in any way. They're just hopefully...
Well, especially as the game goes on, basically when we hit the lake to the end of the game, everything we see is pretty suspect. You know what I mean? Like, definitely a lot of that shit is just inside Blake's mind.
Yes.
Whereas before, probably not. It seemed like most of it was pretty straightforward before then.
Yes.
So we just started. So I just have a feeling it's just a group of people who are reacting to this weird brain wave that's going out and affecting people.
Right.
And just different people are reacting to it in different ways. Some people are like, it's God, and we have to praise him. And maybe even the people who are diseased, that might have even also, because that was pretty intense for just syphilis or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that
so
might be...
maybe even the diseases are just imagined or something.
That's true. That could be it. Or that could just be like the way that people's bodies react to whatever this brain thing is.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There's like I said, there's a lot of different ways this could be taken.
Yeah.
And the only way to really get any sort of closure is for there to either be a follow-up DLC, which could be a prequel or a sequel. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just a way to explain what happened, or a sequel to the game in general. Outlast 3, which if Outlast 3 could just be, this is how the previous two were connected.
Yeah.
And that would be enough for me. I need to feel like there was a point to this.
I need to know.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just jumbled nonsense.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me that much, honestly. I wish they gave us a little more of an ending, but like overall, I think they give you enough hints to connect it in your own way where it's not just like,
I feel like that whenever I hear you interpret what I always think it's a cop out because writers didn't know how to end it.
I agree. But I don't know. There's something about it where you get the sense that there is an answer as opposed to it just being random.
Exactly. I think there is an answer, which is why I say there needs to be a follow-up.
It definitely could be better. Honestly, I don't dislike it that much. Yeah. It kind of ends quick. I think that's the main problem.
Yeah.
It feels kind of cheap just because like Marta dies, her baby's born, Papanoth kills himself, game over. And it's like, wow, that took like 3 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it feels kind of cheap just because of how
the world
short it
ends.
is. Yeah, maybe.
You mentioned you forgot that part.
And then the sun envelops the world, I guess. Yeah.
So it's just very all over the place. And like the funny thing is that as the game progressed, the more I started to enjoy and you probably are going to disagree with this, the more I started to enjoy the hallucination bits. Like specifically when you are told essentially what happened between Jessica and Blake as children. It was very off-putting, and I can understand why he felt guilty, especially considering she practically begged him not to leave.
Yeah.
Not to mention she had like a big crush on him or something like that on top of it all.
I like the story element of it. I just didn't like the gameplay element of it.
Sure, I can understand that. And the more we progressed, the more I cared about that story than I did about the story that, quote-unquote, is actually happening.
Yeah.
You know? The less interested I became once we started to get to the heretics part. Like, it was scarier, I felt like. It was more fucked up than, like, the midpoint of the game with Nick and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But the story aspect of it just was weak, I felt like.
Yeah,
once you got to the end. Yeah,
I agree. It kind of peters out a little bit, especially, like, because the ending is cool, like the very end, but it's just kind of short, and everything that leads up to the ending just sort of is.
Well, yeah, this game is in thirds. It's cut into thirds.
Yeah.
The first third where you're dealing with Pop and Noth, the second third where you're dealing with Nick and Laird, and the final third where you're dealing with Val and the heretics.
Yeah. And the first third is much longer, right? It feels like that is most of the game, is that first part. Or at least half
It's
of the
about
game.
half of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's honestly, in terms of atmosphere, I felt like it was the best part.
Yeah, I agree.
The second third was not that scary, and it was also very annoying.
Yeah. I didn't mind it. I liked the set piece of them doing all this shit to you to try to fulfill like a prophecy of them like curing
I felt
themselves.
like it could have been better.
Yeah.
Like burying them alive, that part was like way too quick.
Yeah, right? And there wasn't anything. I like being crucified.
Yeah, that part was cool. Yeah, that part was cool. The final third was really fucking creepy to me. I don't know how you felt about it, but like being chased by those really loud like screaming creatures and Val fucking with you in the mines.
Yeah, and this is just a personal thing. I'm not going to count this against the game as a whole. Like I'm not going to take this into account for like its score or whatever, but it's just too much. Whenever I have a very hard limit of when I'm like, this is too much, I'm too anxious, my brain hurts.
And your brain shuts down.
Yeah, and we talked about this during the game a little bit too, and I didn't like it. I don't think it was poorly done. It was just too much for me.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't handle it anymore. Yeah, and I was just like, this is way too intense, and it like hurts. Like I didn't have like the rest of the game I had fun. Like there's the point where it's like, oh, this is scary, but like it's fun, you know?
Yeah.
But the end I was like, I'm not enjoying. Like if I was playing this by myself,
I had no fun during the second third. This is how it was
really?
for me.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the first third.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty fun, and I thought it was pretty scary, and I thought the story was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It was passable.
Yeah.
The first third was a passable aspect of the game. Second third I felt like fell flat on its face. The gameplay sucked. It was super frustrating and annoying, especially the parts of the fire arrows. And how like no matter like with the exception of one time for you, like they just hit you no matter what.
Yeah.
And then just the story part, I felt like it stagnated. Nothing was moving the story along. This is the fucked up part of the game.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool, but nothing's happening.
It feels a little tacked on.
It's literally, it's just a detour.
Yeah.
The whole thing is a detour because because you were trying to get from Noth's part to the mines.
Yeah.
And then you fell off the railing and you fell into the woods and you went into Nick and Laird's part. But that was all just a detour.
Yeah, if you would cut that entire thing out, it literally wouldn't have
Nothing would
affected
change.
anything. Yeah,
Nothing would change
true.
in the story.
That's true. I like the set pieces in that, but I will agree with your overall point.
And I feel like every section...
I didn't have as tough a time with that because I feel like largely because you had already played it.
Right.
Like a lot of that section was pretty easy for me because I knew what to do because you were there being like, okay, yeah, now do this.
Yes.
So I didn't have that same frustration.
No,
but
definitely. I saved you from a lot of frustrations.
Yeah, I bet if I'd been playing it by myself, I would have had a similar...
Yeah, just go back and watch Mr. Craven's playthrough of that part and you'll see how fucking frustrating it can get.
Yeah.
So... the second third was, in my opinion, pointless.
Yeah.
And I don't always feel like a horror game has to have everything go towards the story. There's some things where it's like there are certain genres where you can get a reprieve. Horror games and comedy games or movies, wherever the fuck, get those exceptions.
Yeah.
Like the point of like most things is the story in terms of entertainment, but those particular genres, the point is to scare you or make you laugh.
Yeah.
The problem is that Outlast 2, unlike Outlast 1, the focal point was the story.
Yes.
It was really trying to have a good story.
Yeah, they tried to push it really hard.
And the first one didn't bother with that. There was a story, but that wasn't the main point. The point was the asylum. The point was the scary aspect of the game. Same thing with Whistleblower. This one, the main point was the story, and then it had horror aspects to it. And when you start doing that, I say, okay, well, now you have to have everything work into the story.
I like that kind of shit a lot.
Sure. I just feel like that they didn't know how to choose which one they wanted.
Yeah.
And that was my main problem, is that, like, just fucking pick one. Are you a story game that has horror elements, or are you a horror game with story elements? Which one is it?
Yeah.
And they just didn't seem to pick, I felt like. But yeah, then the final third, it was really over the top.
These horror games need to stop ending with mine sections. Resident Evil did it. This game did it. Both times it was a mistake.
Yeah, well, I feel like this mine section wasn't as bad as Resident Evil. Resident Evil, it like completely betrayed everything it was trying to be.
Yes.
It just turned into an action game in the mines.
Yes.
In this game, it was really creepy, especially because there were no lights for the most part.
Yeah.
It made everything so fucking dark. And so when you're playing that mine section with the water in it and Val's going after you, at least for me, it scared the shit out of me. Because, like, the only way I could see where I was going was turn on the night vision, but the only way to see where Val was to turn off the night vision.
Yeah.
And so it was like this balance of, and also trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah.
Like, you're planning out, okay, where am I going to hide? Because she'll kill me instantly.
Yeah.
So where do I hide in this circumstance? Do I hide under the water? Well, if I hide under the water, I can't turn on my camera.
I can't see anything.
I can't see a goddamn thing, and hopefully Val doesn't see me.
Yeah.
So there was just a lot of things going on in your head in those moments, just to turn off two light switches.
Yeah.
So yeah, that section really freaked me out. But yeah, that's where the story I felt like took a big nosedive, with the exception of the flashbacks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The flashbacks did
The other thing,
keep interesting shit going.
one other thing I wanted to mention was the big problem is that they may have cut out some really integral parts of the game so they could sell it. Because Australia at one point wasn't going to sell the game supposedly because at least at one point there was a very graphic, or I don't know this for sure, but I've heard rumors that there was a very graphic and very blunt rape scene. Where Lynn was raped. I don't know who she was raped by, but I'm pretty sure it was closer to the end. And she was raped like in front of Blake, and it was just very disturbing.
Yeah, this is gonna sound weird, but I was surprised that there wasn't a rape scene.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense because it seems like they were building to it in a lot of ways. A lot of the notes were pointing to it. Her, like, just what they kept talking about with her seemed to be pointing to it. I was like, oh god, there's gonna be a really fucked up rape scene. But then there just wasn't, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's fine. But it was just it was weird. The story seemed to be funneling to that, and then it wasn't there. So that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
to me.
no, they cut out that. The rumor is they cut out that for certain, and then that makes me wonder. Well, what else did they cut out so they could sell in different countries, in continents?
It also makes sense, like with the pacing. Usually, you want like a big set piece every like certain amount, and right before Lynn escapes out the window, you feel like there should be a set piece moment, and there's not.
Yeah.
So I feel like it probably would have been around there.
That she was raped.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
And they just cut it out. And we're like,
so
whatever.
they could sell. And I understand that.
Yeah.
But like, it makes me wonder what else did they cut out and how much does it affect the game?
Yeah.
Did it turn what could have been like a really great but also incredibly disturbing and not for everyone horror game into like it was okay. It didn't make a lot of sense, but you know, all right. But I don't know. That's a question that I'm always going to have, I guess, because
overall, sorry not to interrupt your fucking stupid ass point.
Oh, okay.
But
That's fine. No worries.
Overall, I did like this game. And I'm not a huge horror game guy, which I keep saying whilst praising horror games.
Yes.
But I really liked this game.
Yeah.
I liked the tone, I liked the atmosphere. It was a really generic story, but it had shit that you could piece together.
I disagree. That's not. I don't feel like the story was generic.
Okay, setting. I should say setting. Like the crazy Christian cult is a very done trope.
Yes.
This is what I meant.
Yes.
But yeah, that's about what I was about to say. The story after you're in the setting is interesting.
Yeah.
Because you see all these factions split up, and you kind of like discover why. Like see the like some people started like getting sexualized with the violence, and because the Christians didn't like that, they split off. Like that was really cool.
Yes.
I like slowly discovering all that through the notes and through like there's a lot of good environmental storytelling storytelling.
Yes.
Where you saw shit and you're like, oh, that means this, this, and this. And you kind of put pieces together.
100%.
And then, kind of like you said, at the end, they were like, fuck it. And they even have a line at the end where he's like, oh, exposition while he's on the log.
Yeah.
And I was like, didn't we already know that?
Yeah.
And you were like, it's for the people who didn't get it. And I was like, oh,
Exactly.
that kind of sucks.
It is.
It
It's
is
really
kind of like
annoying.
what you said. It's like, it should just all be like complete experimental and you have to figure it out yourself, or it should just be a story.
Yes.
And they kind of did like the middle where they tried to explain some things and then they just like
They
left
couldn't
some
choose
up.
what they wanted to be at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, what this game is it's a really niche, fucked up horror game.
Yeah.
That is not for everyone in the
No,
slightest. This is
no.
not for the people who enjoyed Until Dawn.
No.
This is not for most people because we
Yeah.
enjoyed Until Dawn. But my point is, this is not for the people that like Slender Man and stuff like that. This is for people who, can stomach watching a movie like Hannibal Holocaust.
Yes, yeah. Like my girlfriend really liked Until Dawn.
Yeah.
She would not like this.
At all.
No.
No,
She would not
exactly.
enjoy this game, which is totally fine.
Right, but the point is that then they also were like, oh, but we want to sell to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where you run into a problem.
Yeah.
You've got to know your audience.
At the point
and
where
when
you
you start
have a-
trying to compromise what your audience is,
Yeah.
you fucked up. You fucked up at the game that you were making.
And also, it's like they have a crucifixion scene. Just go full on for that. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like already the people you're gonna lose are gonna be lost with what you already have.
Exactly.
So just fuck Australia.
Yeah.
Fuck Australia. Fuck Australia.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And release it as fucked up as you want.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, I get trying to make as much money as possible off a game that you put a lot of time in, because clearly they did.
Yeah.
But I just, after all the disturbing shit I saw, for whatever reason, from what I had heard going into it, I feel a little disappointed at what I was. I was expecting levels that I hadn't seen from a horror game before
Yeah.
in terms of how disturbing it was going to get, based off of the fact that it wasn't going to sell in some countries really made me wonder.
Yeah.
And it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty normal.
I mean, it was fucked up, but like after playing Amnesia: The Dark Descent and the original Outlast and Outlast Whistleblower, holy shit! That guy was gonna in Whistleblower. Spoilers for Whistleblower. There's a part where a guy was gonna cut your dick off and then fuck you in the wound.
That. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my point.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
I want more shit like that. That makes it sound fucked up, but I love dicks getting fucked
It's
off.
tasteless, but that's what Outlast is. Just be tasteless.
Yeah, it's just like B-movie shit where it's like, oh, that's fucked up, that's awesome kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where you just want that feeling, like when he gets crucified. That was great. I loved that.
Sure. So, are there any final thoughts that you have?
Well, I'm curious, Jake. What would you rate this game on an arbitrary rating number system that doesn't mean anything?
I actually said in my playthrough it's like a 6.5 to a 7.
Okay, that is funny enough, and I'm gonna sound like I'm just copying you now. Literally exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like I was just trying to decide. Yeah, I would probably 6.5 to 7, knowing that 5 is average for me.
Yes.
Again, making that clear. 5 is middle of the road. This is like average in every way. This game is better than average. If someone was like, I like horror games, should I play this game? I'd be like, yes. I've seen a lot of people saying that it's better than Resident Evil 7.
No.
It's not. And I don't
I wouldn't agree with that at all.
If you think that, that's fine, obviously. Like, I'm glad that you're enjoying something. Resident Evil 7 is head and shoulders above this game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But this game is a pretty
It's
fun...
not even comparable in my opinion.
No, me either. But this is a pretty fun horror romp with some good moments. It drags a little bit in the middle and the end.
Which is weird for a game that's only like 6-7 hours long.
Yes. And the ending feels like a little bit of a cop-out because they didn't go experimental enough for the rest of it.
Right.
Like, they didn't choose whether or not they just wanted to have a story or be like Inside, where it's like a weird experimental story the whole time.
Right.
And so it feels earned when it just kind of ends and it's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
But this game, they try to have a story and they just end with what the fuck was that, and it feels weird and cheap. But there is still things to dig into for the story, so I would still recommend it, just
100%.
overall.
I'd agree too.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was our Outlast 2 playthrough, everybody. What'd you think? Let us know in the comments. Yeah. All right, Alex.
And as always, see you guys next time.
That's not our outro.
And
You fucking twat.
and I
You know what else is a twat?
Jake.